Okay. Hello, Internet. Guess who? It's the person who's gonna be so excited about teaching lettering with you today and every day. We got through the letter I, so we can put that behind us. The hardest one of the whole alphabet. Just kidding, that was the easiest one. I know, I was just looking at that too. I think Morgan and I are comparing baby
stains.
Burp stains on our shirts. So if you guys can get past that, then we can continue and we can be friends. But if you're upset about that, there may be more upsetting things.
Yeah, you should really
in your future.
The shit you're worried about then.
How's everybody doing? Today is Sunday.
Yes.
We had some delicious leftovers for lunch.
It's the 29th.
It's the 29th of March, 2020. Whew, my hair is getting poofy. Who else needs a haircut?
My hair keeps just falling out.
Having babies 4 months ago, I guess we'll do that too.
I have postpartum mom hair where it just keeps falling out.
But you know what? You started out with like 3 times as much hair as everybody else, so I feel like
thank goodness.
Even though you're losing hair, you're still gonna have more hair than I do.
I'm gonna turn this light off because we don't normally use
Oh,
them.
I sometimes turn it on.
I'm not doing the class.
Oh, okay. Well,
Gotta keep our lighting consistent on the YouTubes. How is uploading going?
Uploading is going okay, but I just uploaded yesterday's class. So yesterday's class is up there. I still have to upload, what was the day before? The letter G, I think was the day before. And someone else's hair is falling out too. See? It just happens. It's going to be okay.
Makes me feel better. I don't remember how long it falls out for and when it starts to come back, but could just be stress too. Combo everything. But you keep trying to record these videos.
I keep trying to record. So some days it just, the class doesn't save to my phone for some reason. And so then I do the old trickaroo where I record the screen and then I play the live story. But I keep getting interrupted. The day before, my friend was going on and on about homeschooling her kids and how she wasn't cut out for it. And she's an amazing person and super talented in other ways, but schooling isn't her thing, apparently. Today I tried recording it again and my sister called in the middle of it. And I even turned my notifications off and everything. And I'm not complaining. I love hearing from my sister. I love hearing from my friend, but...
that's why.
Yeah, so the letter G just needs a little bit more time. Today we are doing the letter J. Lots of fun. You have a list here? What are you reading?
This is my checklist of stuff I was supposed to do at the studio. I was like, maybe there's something I need to tell people, but nothing I need to tell anybody right now.
She spent the morning at the studio shipping orders, working on some...
Thank you everyone who ordered.
Yep. Working on some small projects. But she was like, I need to go to the studio today and get some work done. And I was like, oh my God, please take one child with you. Just one baby. I can't, the 3 of them are a little too much for me right now. So she took Roland, and I was able to get dressed. So that was nice. Do we have any other announcements?
You act like I leave you alone with 3 kids all the time.
No, I just fear. That's my biggest fear, is just being left alone with small children. I just keep thinking I'm going to do something wrong, and you're going to come back and be like, what did you do?
Hi, Zach.
Hey, Zach, how's it going? Oh, it's our buddy from Providence. So we're going to do some more lettering today. We're going to work on the letter J. We are going to do a serif and a sans serif and a script style. And we're going to ignore the big hole in our ceiling. And we are going to do that in the uppercase and lowercase versions. Stay safe, miss. Yes. Stay safe, Zach. Alrighty. Are you guys ready to party? Let's do this. Morgan's gonna.
For a reason?
Well, no, that's my little secret little doodad trick. I'll show you guys what I'm talking about. I don't actually own. Yeah, I don't actually own a like an iPhone like tripod thing. I have like camera tripods, and then I was like losing my mind. How do I hold my camera when I have to do things? So I had this thing when we had our old car. Before your phone kind of talked to your car. And this was just like, it went on like the dash. and it held your phone, and it's a very handy phone holder, on its own. So that's my little.
You're holding on to it just in case.
Yeah, this is my iPhone tripod there. So we're gonna try to get that thing set up while or maybe we don't have to use it. We can still use the plant. The plant has been a very, good friend to us these days, on top of my little art books here. So yeah, Morgan, if you want to do the honors and set up. Oh, you know what I want to do is I just have this on the computer, and maybe I'll show you guys. So if you have missed any of our classes, they are on the internets. They are on YouTube and Ladyfingers Letterpress, and it's under one playlist called Lettering with Ladyfingers Quarantine Class. So we have everything. Oh wait, G is up there. A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H. H is the one that's not up there. H was the day before.
H-I.
H-I, yeah. I have.
Hi.
H-I, hi. So if you guys need to catch up on any old classes, those guys are up on YouTube. They're about an hour long, 50 minutes to an hour. So just, allot that space for yourself. There's a lot of children in the video, a lot of babies coming in and out, and some singing and some, parenting. So be patient. If you guys don't have our We Will Always Figure It Out free download, that is on our website under the downloads. If you are looking for some more lettering guidance, we have our hand lettering pen kits that come with our booklet that we've written about hand lettering with some practice pages. It also comes with 3 of our favorite lettering pens, a Pigma Micron. It comes with a Tombow brush pen.
Currently, the Tombow selection is coming in a colored selection.
Oh, okay.
We've gone through all the black ones.
Okay, so these...
You're getting like a really awesome Morgan picks your color for you.
Yeah, Morgan, a grab bag of colored Tombows. And the last one is a Kuretake Fudagachi sort of brush-ish pen. It's kind of like a mix between the Tombow and a Micron. And I like those a lot. So you can order these pen kits on our website, or you can just download the booklet if you just want the information that's in here and you want it immediately and there's no germs transferred through the computer. So you can download that on ladyfingersletterpress.com.
Also, I'm not transferring germs.
No, Morgan doesn't have germs. I'm not saying you have germs, but there are germs. If people are scared of germs.
I'm not even shipping in cardboard, Arlie.
What?
The things that I'm shipping, I'm not even shipping in cardboard.
You're not even shipping in cardboard?
No, I have these like plastic sleeves I'm putting
Is cardboard more germ attractive?
Who knows? The internet seems to think cardboard.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay, so no cardboard. See, Morgan even knows more about germs than I do, and one of my best friends is a microbiologist. So, Alex, if you're out there, talk to Morgan. She knows about this stuff. I don't. So I'm going to be working on a iPad today. What I'm going to be doing is talking to my iMac via Sidecar. If you are using a iPad at home, if you're using an iPad Pro at home, you can talk to your computer, and you can use Photoshop if you have Photoshop loaded on your computer, or you can use a program like Procreate or Adobe Sketch, or you can use free paper and pens, which you may already have at home, and that is a lot cheaper than buying all this junk, and you can still do just as beautiful of a job. And so I just wanted to tell you that's how I'm doing it. We are going to be filming my screen so you guys can I instantly regret ordering that kit. JK.
Guys,
you don't want the colored pen? Oh, sorry. Well, you're gonna have to order another one so you get a different color.
Because you're talking about germs, Arlie.
Oh, so the germs, yeah. Well, Morgan's gonna make sure she sneezes on your order next time, so.
Stop! I'm so careful, you guys. I wash my hands 400 times.
I know, she's the neurotic one. She's wiping down everything that comes into the house, every thing that comes through the mail. It's I can't actually even go outside without plastic bags on my hands, or she'll kill me, or I'll kill myself, one or the other.
Guys,
so yeah. And she's like, okay, Arlie, shut up.
You're scaring people.
Shut up about the germs.
Meatball
I feel
wants to
like
say
people
hi.
are very serious about germs.
I know, and you're joking about it.
I know. Well, this is my way of dealing with difficult things, is to make jokes and make light of everything. Hello, Chi-Chis. Hello, Chi-Chos. This is Meatball. Meatball is my little totoshi. And he is very unhelpful when I try to teach my classes because he thinks this is his little spot, but it's not his spot. Okay, Meatball, you've got to go. All right, over here. So, yesterday we did some I's. Today we're going to do some J's. There is a random letter F hanging out. I don't know why. Let's get rid of that. Oh my goodness, why is that like that? What have I done? Oh, I'm under mask mode. Okay. Weird. Why am I still under a mask mode? Here we go. Technology.
Okay, you ready for the
Technology. Oh yeah, sorry. I thought you were looking at the screen. Brr.
All right. You guys, someday we're going to get like a really fancy setup.
But then we're going to have to start charging you.
Oh.
To pay for it.
No. I'm family rewritten. I'm being so careful.
They had some like happy crying laughing emoji. I think we're okay.
Oh.
I'm just going to believe that we're okay and that they understand my sense of humor.
Okay.
How does
I have
that
to go
look?
get Rolly in a minute. He's talking.
Okay.
Let's see. There you go.
Alrighty.
I think you're good.
Cool. So we've done A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H, I. That's 9 letters. We've been doing this for 9 days, you guys.
Okay, good. They're fine. Thank you. Thank you for clarifying.
I figure if you're here and you're watching Ladyfingers letterpress, you have to have some kind of sense of humor.
And we're shooting it with an iPhone at like 14 computer screens later with screaming children. Okay.
Yeah.
You're
See?
good to go. Go ahead.
See? Okay. Alrighty, so we're going to do the letter J, guys. Alright, we are going to start with our beautiful mono... Oh boy, come on. Oy, oy, oy. Mono weight. Which means one weight, one love. Okay, we are going to start with our outside shape, so bear with me. We're going to start at our cap line. Come down. No, we're not going to go quite to that X height. And I wonder if you noticed that when I came down, I'll do this again, I'm not going all the way to that baseline because I know that I need this thickness here. So I'm sort of eyeballing this thickness and I'm giving myself that space there. So you kind of come around and do and finish that off there. And because this is a mono weight, and that means that your stroke should be consistent throughout the whole letter form. This kind of looks a little bit chunky to me, and this terminal here seems a little bit thin, so I'm going to kind of fatten that out. Make sure that's kind of consistent around that curve there, which could be real tricky. But yeah, you more or less have a consistent weight of a J there. You know, if you really want to experiment, you want to fill up that line with, you want to fill up that line with some experimental J's, you can make a more extended version if you want. If giving yourself this little invisible space at the bottom is hard for you, you can start maybe with the bottom part of it and come up. It kind of doesn't matter what approach you take, as long as you are aware that you're taking up this much space, right? You're aware of the outer shape of that letter form and how much room it's going to take up. So as long as you are keeping that in mind, you can start from the top or the bottom. It doesn't really matter. I'm going to. Why is my? I feel like there were some like elves or something on my computer last night. Just kind of messing things up here. Oops. I'm just taking my eraser tool and just kind of hacking away at some parts that I thought were a little bit too thick. if you are working at home with just a pen and paper, if you have like a white pen, you can do the same thing. You can use like a white Jelly Roll pen or like a white paint marker to get rid of that pen space, or you can use an eraser if you're using a pencil. I recommend though using a pen. There's something a little bit more, just like a little bit more like there's like a bigger level of commitment when you do stuff with a pen. It sort of forces you to really take things seriously in this weird way. So if you are using a pencil, maybe try digging out a pen in your drawer and seeing how differently you draw with a pen versus a pencil. Mono weight, we are also considering this a sans serif J, and that is because I'm not adding the little cross stroke here at the top, because this would be, you can there are sans serif capital J's that do have this top crossbar. So it is a little bit of a preference. I see it more as like something that belongs to the serif category, but I think if you were to even draw a serif on here, it would be something like, no, it wouldn't be like that. This is a serif. This is the J. This is the serif of the J, because that other way that I just tried is totally ridiculous. But I don't think it would be out of the language if you added this top crossbar to a sans serif J. It might just add some character and a little bit of flavor and kind of make it look a little cool. We are going to draw a lowercase j now in the mono weight sans serif style. So we are going to, in the same way that we used this baseline as a guide for the capital J and it went up to the cap line, we are going to make our lowercase j up to the mean line, also referred to as the X height, which is the line that all your lowercase letters go to. And then we are also going to go down to the ye old descent line, which is down here, or you can also call it the descender line. So we're going to start at the top of our mean line. And again, we're going to sort of pull the same shenanigan where we're leaving that space. This is really thin over here, and it's much thicker on the bottom, so we're going to give ourselves some space. You don't have to bring it all the way back up to the baseline. I mean, you can if you want. Let's do it that way so you can see how that looks. The location of that terminal really is kind of up to you, how far down you want to take it. It's a little arbitrary, but it's in the scheme of things, it's it'll make an impact on the look of your composition. So kind of do it by eye. Ooh, I kind of like that. Now we're going to draw our tittle, just like yesterday. If you were here, we drew our lowercase i's, and our tittles went all the way up to our cap line. We're going to do the same thing with our lowercase j's. And these tittles, or dots, or jots, whatever you want to call them, should basically stay in line with the width of your stroke here. I feel like this is a little bit big. So I'm gonna kind of feel like that's more like it, but it's a little small. So I'm gonna start over. I think that's a little bit better of a accompaniment. There we go, something like that. Those seem pretty balanced based on the width of the letter form down below. Hi, Meatball. How's it going? Hi, Chi-Chi's. Okay, no, ow! Ow! Oh, Meatball. Oh, man. That's gonna leave a mark. Oh, man. Remind me to trim your nails later. All right, well, you little... Get out of here.
He wants to go outside. Did you feed him breakfast?
I did feed him breakfast.
Okay, just checking.
Maybe he just went outside. Jerk. Okay, back to lettering, where it won't hurt me. Okay, so we're gonna jump into a sans serif style that has a little bit more contrast. If the mono weight was one weight, one weight equals 0 contrast, because there's no variation in thickness between any of these other shapes or spaces here. They're all pretty much the same. So if we're going to be drawing a sans serif letter form with contrast but without serifs, it would look something like this. So we're going to start with our uppercase J.
I want to show you some
Hey, Gio.
bus.
Oh my gosh, it's Wheels on the Bus Halloween edition.
It's a different one. I like this one.
You like this one?
Yeah.
So a little something about Gio. He is obsessed with Wheels on the Bus and Halloween. So when we found a Halloween Wheels on the Bus thing on YouTube, it was like kind of the best thing in the whole world. All right, Gio, we are drawing the letter J here today.
Oh, I didn't know that.
You didn't know that? Well, here we are drawing a capital J. Do you mind if I lower this for you a little?
Yeah.
Okay, thank you. Okay, I'm gonna move, here we go, this is over here. So if you'll notice here, this J has a slight amount of contrast. This weight here is thicker, than this weight here.
Can you give us a zoom?
Zoom, yep. So this weight is thicker than this weight. But it's just slightly. It's not like a huge jump from a letter form like this, but you'll notice that this is a lot, more consistently stroked at the bottom than this is up here at the top. Again, our terminal is kind of arbitrarily sitting somewhere in like that third quadrant of the mean line. That's just kind of like a little safe space that I like to sit in when I make those terminals, but it's up to you. It can be super low. It can be a little bit higher. Everything has its own sort of personality to it. Like, let's look at a J that looks like this. That it almost looks like an uppercase U or a lowercase u, so you want to be careful about legibility there. And here's like a super low one. So everything, they all look a little bit different, and it's just, it's just a different placement of that terminal, which makes it look like that. So, if you want to fill up that whole line with just some different J's and terminals that go in different places, a little low, a little bit high, see how that looks, see how you like it, see how it inspires you to want to draw your J's in the future. This process is all about experimentation and a lot about practice. So the more that you, practice with more, more ideas, if you say to yourself, how come it doesn't look like, how come we don't draw it like this? Or what's going to look like if I do it like this? Do it. See how it looks. See what you think of it. And if it's something that you like, then integrate it in the rest of your practice, because that is the beautiful thing about hand lettering. You are developing your own voice and your own style. And just because, Helvetica looks one way doesn't mean you need to make it like that. Would you like some headphones, hon?
Yeah.
Okay. The headphones are on your computer desktop in the other room. Would you mind grabbing those?
Let's solve that.
Hook up this good. Hey, hon, can you also grab my water that's on the table there?
Yes.
Sorry, we are working from our home office here today. So we are navigating through all of the fun parts of running your own business, hosting an online workshop, and having 2 4-month-old babies and a 3-year-old. So
Okay, here's your headphones.
all right, I had to take a sip of water there. All right, uppercase J's in the sans serif style with some contrast. Done. Let's move on to our lowercase J's. So, gonna start at our mean line again. Jump down here. You know what? I'm gonna do that over. I made the volume really low, so you may have to jump it up a bit.
I think it's good.
Okay.
Too loud? It was too loud. Okay, is that better?
And we are going to make our little tittle up to the top there.
Okay.
It's going to go to the mean line and sit down here and reach the descender line or the descent line. And we are going to give this one a little bit more contrast. So in the letter J, that contrast sits in this vertical axis. You know, it's, if you want to think of it this way, it's like you're taking a ribbon this way and you're twisting it when it gets to here. So I'll draw it down here. Your twist happens like this. So if you just try to imagine that your ribbon is really coming down and getting pinched in the sort of crevice of this axis, and then coming back out and getting like re-inflated. That's one way to think about it. Are those texts showing up on my computer when that happens? No? Okay. People are texting me. It's showing up on my iPad, but not on my computer. All right, so that would be a lowercase J with some contrast. Let's do another one, just with like a lot of contrast. So I'm gonna come down. I'm gonna actually like touch that bottom and almost make it like a hairline contrast. I'm even gonna like really try to, yeah, there we go. Give it very, 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 very small amount of weight there. Just to see how something like that looks. You know, this has a little bit more of a calligraphic origin because you can almost imagine, you know, a pen drawing that shape. I don't know if that illustration helps at all, but here's, you know, this is a pen. It's drawing its shape on paper, and you see that what I'm trying to say is this pen nib has a width to it. You know, it's very thin on this side, but it has a very wide stroke on the other side. So that's what I mean when I say like calligraphic origin, that it has the tendencies of being drawn with a
Nib.
calligraphic nib. You need my help? He looks like a little airline pilot. Beep bop, I'm your master. That's right, Gio. Don't forget it. Okay, we are done with the sans serif styles here, people. Nice job. We went through some nice mono weight designs. We did some nice lowercase ones. We did some nice ones with contrast, uppercase and lowercase. We are going to move on to the serif style, capital J. And the way that I draw those is I start my contrast up here at the top. My line is a little squiggly there, but it's okay. I'm going to come down all the way to that baseline, and I'm going to give myself a little teardrop terminal there. I'm going to pick up my pen, and I'm going to follow that ribbon all the way down to the end again. I'm trying not to do that. All right, a couple of things with this. So you'll notice when I drew that first line here, here's my, that first crossbar stroke I started. And then I put my pencil down here in this sort of left-hand part of the, of the line. Notice I did not make it right here smack down in the center. I wanted to veer off to the center because in my mind I want to give myself that space. You know, I know that axis is going to be coming down the middle, and so I almost want to draw my stroke right so that it is sort of encompassing. It's sort of like a tree trunk growing around that axis. And I'm going to come down, I'm going to touch the bottom because I want this to be very low contrast, and stop with my teardrop terminal, and then I'm going to come back up here to the top, and I'm going to join that line so that ribbon makes sense as part of that contrast. And when I say ribbon, I'm referring to the contrast. I'm referring to the stroke or the stem of this uppercase J. I'll draw this again without the axis lines. So my crossbar up here at the top, going down, teardrop terminal. And you'll notice like right about here I start to like break that line and come back in to join that initial stroke, that initial drawing. If anybody has any questions, Morgan is behind the phone and she can see them, so ask away. Notice I didn't go up to the mean line here with this terminal. I kind of sat down somewhere in the, half to 2/3 category down there. You can make your crossbar a lot bigger. You can do something like that. If you want a much more extended letter form, you can make that a lot wider. But notice that I don't put serifs on here. I feel like that makes it look like a T. So it almost looks like I'm drawing a T and a J in one. You see how kind of ridiculous that looks?
Don't wobble.
Don't wobble, baby. Yeah, you think that baby's wobbly, huh?
Wobble, baby.
He's a wobbly
Don't
baby.
Wobble.
It's okay. He's learning how to hold his head up. He can do it. I know. So here is what that looks like without that serif. You don't have to do a teardrop terminal on the end of your J's. You can leave it empty if you'd like. Or you can, I don't even think that I have seen a uppercase J with like a serif here. I think that doesn't really exist. It almost looks like a reverse fishhook or something.
This is chickens.
Those crazy chickens. Oh, you're watching the crazy chicken. You love that.
This is my.
You want to show everyone?
This is my crazy chicken show.
Yeah.
He's so silly.
It's a silly chicken.
He is a silly chicken, isn't he?
Sorry, everyone, for the wild ride.
Detour. There we go. Yeah, Rolly. So notice with these uppercase J's, again, we have that axis. We don't want that thickness to cross over that axis. So, instead of having this weird little like fishhook serif-y thing, if you really want some thickness over here, you can do something like that. Is something I would recommend instead. That seems like it's a little bit more in the language of the letter form and of the style of lettering. Lowercase serif J's. So if you guys are new to this class and you keep saying to yourself, what the heck is a serif? Why do you keep talking about serifs? Serif is the letter, if you have a B, it's the little legs here. It is the legs here, it's the legs on a T. So it is, this lowercase t is kind of a bad example. It's a N. These little feet, that's called a serif. Something like that. Serif, serif, serif. So to draw a lowercase J serif, I tend to make my slants my serifs a little slanted when I draw a serif J. I'm gonna come back down. Why is my computer doing that? Uh-oh. Sorry. What's going on here? All right. And I'm gonna join that again up to the cap line with my tittle. And I'm going to fill in that teardrop terminal there at the bottom. I just really like this kind of slanted serif here at the top of the J. I just feel like it helps to sort of like bring your eye, it sort of connects it to the letter before it. something about it, I just like it, and it's something that just seems very natural to me, and so I've just done it, you know, I've just always done it. But you can draw your serif, you know, straight across, something like that. You can draw it, you know, very wide like this.
That funny face.
Oh my gosh, that crazy chicken is so funny. Everybody thinks the crazy chicken's funny, don't we? And if you don't want a teardrop terminal, you don't need it. Forget about that terminal. You're better than that terminal. You don't need that. You could just freewheel it, just like this. And if you just like having your serif off to the left, try that too. Look at all these different ways we can draw the serif at the top of a lowercase j. So many options. So many things. Who knew lettering could be such an adventure? Oh my God, speaking of adventure. All right. So lowercase j's, a couple different ways to draw those guys. My tittles are incredibly inconsistent, but that is hand lettering for you. You're going to draw a bunch of j's. They're all going to look very different from each other. But when you draw them in context of a word, it's going to look awesome because you're going to have practiced. And it's going to look so much more comfortable and at home in the middle of a word. So we are going to, we have mastered the sans serif. We have mastered the serif here now. And we are now going to do script. Now, script can be a little bit of a jump going from these serif and sans serif styles. You know, the styles that we have... Hold on, Gio. The styles that we have just covered are very much rooted in sort of a geometric construction. This was very... Gio, hold on a second. Do you want to watch your iPad over here on your desk? Gio? Gio? Hey, can you get his attention? He's got headphones on. Hey, sweetie. Gio? Gio Schmeal. All right. Okay, so we are going to stay there. I just thought maybe he could move so he wasn't so close to the microphone, but you know what? A 3-year-old is going to do what they want to do. So these guys, you know, the sans serif style is very much rooted in a geometric construction. You're really treating these letters as drawing them like a character, drawing them as an illustration. They're less about handwriting and more about drawing. Remember, hand lettering is the art of drawing letters, and calligraphy is the art of handwriting. So that's why, you know, this is very much a drawing exercise, what we've just done. When we add in the script styles, we are really going to start to see the, you know, the fluidity of your hand coming into more of a play. But it's still not exactly handwriting because you're going to be lifting up your pen in a lot of different places. You're going to be constructing it. I'm just going to show you, in case you can't hear me over my kid who's watching YouTube with headphones on.
He's singing apples and bananas.
Oh, he is?
Yeah.
Oh. I couldn't tell.
Somebody sings the Opie and the no-nos.
Opals and bononos?
And I was just trying to do it loud so you can hear it.
Oh,
He was
thank
just singing
you.
for you,
You
Bob.
wanted me to hear that. Thank you. I love that. So here we have some script lines here, friends. These lines are our diagonal axis. If you would like to download this page from our website, that is free. You can have this at home, print it on your printer if you have that, or load it up on your iPad. I'm not exactly sure what angle this is, but it is an angle that I used to, what I did is I put some script lettering down and then I traced the angle that I use, and this was the angle that I've been naturally doing. So maybe it would be helpful for you, but if you want to also create your own angle and make your own lines, that's awesome too. So with our capital J, we are going to start down from the baseline here. We're really going to try to be free and loose, and it may take a little bit of practice, but really try to get your muscle memory to build some confidence to be able to make these shapes. Because if you sit here and you try to go real slow it's just gonna be a little bit wobbly. It's gonna not have that gesture. What you're really trying to do is capture that freedom of your hand. And the more that you practice, the more you're gonna remember, and your hand is gonna remember how this shape is made. And you're not gonna really even think about it that much after a while, because you're gonna have so much practice just drawing it. So you can practice having your bottom loop come out so it doesn't hit that baseline, or you can kind of go over. It doesn't matter. You can have it.
Francis just woke up.
Meet it. Oh, really?
Yep.
Do you want to put Rolly in the chair and go grab her?
I'm gonna try.
Okay. Our other twin is awake upstairs. So, you know what? Sometimes I fall above the decenter line. Sometimes I fall beneath it. It really has to do with the layout and the composition. If it works well with everything else you're drawing, that is the most important thing. And again, we're gonna fill in that ribbon shape. It's gonna sort of end up being a very like S-shaped shape.
Okay. I'm gonna step away.
All right, Morgan's gonna go grab the baby. We'll be right back. An uppercase J is one of those letters that you can really use this tail or this terminal to create like a sort of undulating baseline for the rest of your word. So, for example, let's see, what would so if I were to draw the word juice, my pen kind of slipped on my iPad here, so I'm going to try to correct that a little bit. So juice is kind of following that angle upwards, as you can see. So that's what I mean by like sort of creating an undulating baseline. You can also do something like this. Oh, now I hear her. Okay. Let's do the word joy. Do something a little bit shorter. But this word has, it also has a descender. So we're gonna kind of just come down and interact with that flourish to make this this word a little bit more of an illustration. You know, now it looks just kind of more interesting. You have this you know, sort of flourishy shape up here. You have one down here. You have another one echoing it. You have these down here, these double echoes. This is kind of a nice dynamic word to do some fun stuff with. And, you know, as I've said in other classes, anytime you have a terminal, which is an ending or a beginning in one of your letters, so in this case the J has sort of two terminals, it's an opportunity for you to pull it out, do some cool things with. And when I say pull it out, I mean like, you know, draw it out, extend it, like almost like you're pulling it into another, you know, part of the word. And making the most of that terminal. And just like this lowercase y, you know, right now we just ended it here, but it does have the potential to do so many other things. You know, you could have chosen to taken it out this way instead of pulling it back. Hi, Frankie. There are just a lot of different ways that you can use those terminals to interact with each other. So speaking of lowercase, so if you're wondering why these are not sitting on this baseline, also, in case you're wondering that, I was using this tail as a sort of moving baseline. So I wanted to offset it a little bit, sort of equally. So you'll notice that that's kind of how I arrived at these locations.
Hey, hon, someone says, does the top counter need to be larger than the bottom?
The top counter? Oh, this of the J? It does. You know what? That's a good question. It doesn't need to be. You could draw. Let's see. You could draw it something like this. That is definitely, also a way to draw your uppercase J's. I just want to make sure, you want to make sure that it's legible and it doesn't start looking like a capital L. So that's the only thing is you want legibility to be key in situations like this. So if you have, you can do something too, really have that top counter almost extended outwards, and that still I think reads as a J to me. Even with a small little, couple of letters after it. That's a really good question. This is the way that sort of I have learned how to do it in the way that I practice it. It's from baseline to cap line to descender line. But if you find yourself more comfortable and you feel you want it to be something with a bigger, a larger bowl on the bottom, you can do it that way too. I almost feel like that starts looking like a capital F though. So
excuse me, Bob.
Yes, Gio.
There's something biting me in my butt.
There's something biting you in your butt? Oh boy. Well, let me see. Come here. Honey, come here. Gio.
Nose the
This is butt, okay? Okay. She might need a burp. Bounce around a burp. Okay. Well, this is the part of the program where everything starts to devolve.
Falls apart.
We are right on schedule, ladies and folks. We are going to draw our lowercase j before things get too crazy around here. So I'm going to draw this lowercase j as if it's falling in the middle of a word. So I'm going to start down here at the baseline. I'm going to just pick up my pen for instruction purposes. You'll see that I made this little plateau here. This is straight right here. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to come down and flatten that. I'm flattening the curve, but I'm going to fill in that stroke there. And again, give myself that tittle as if it was being sort of shot out of a cannon here. But again, let me draw that again so you guys can see. I'm thickening that out there because it was a little bit wobbly because I'm drawing kind of big over here on the iPad. Now, if you are drawing a lowercase j and you are your next letter is something like a lowercase a, right? So let's draw that together. So we're going to come up, out. There's the A. You see how that you sort of pause right about there. Or if your J is going to be something like a sorry, I'm going really slow because I'm thinking about it. An S. You see this exit point changes depending on what letter you're drawing. So really think about what's coming next because that's going to dictate the size and shape of this counter on the bottom. And similarly, if you were doing like an L, you would almost come out, a lot higher up here, and you would even sort of jog out. I don't know if there's any words that have a JL combination, but
also JS is kind of funky, but
yeah,
you get the idea.
You get the idea. So let's draw a word that has a J in it. What would be a good word with a J in the middle of a word? Conjugal? I don't know what other words has a J in the middle of it. Cajones? see, what is a J? Conjoin. Let's do conjoin. That seems like a little bit less of a controversial word. Okay. Do it this way. No, start with my C.
Bonjour, says someone. That's
Oh,
a good
bonjour.
one.
That's a good one.
Adjective, also very good.
Oh yeah,
Thank
you guys
everyone.
have clean minds.
That's very sweet. Thank you, Jen.
You're really talkative over there, Lord. Yeah? And then we fill everything in. So we're sort of, you see these lines here as our axis. Trying to stay even above this X height line and down to the baseline, down to the descender line. And we have a word here. That N is a little thick. All right. Is that conjoin? That's a word, right? Yeah.
Yeah.
Alrighty, so that is our lesson for the day in the letter J.
Does anybody have any questions?
Someone
Someone said they'd really love how to put letters together into a word or a design.
Okay.
So we'll just have to see how long this whole situation goes on for.
Yeah, yesterday when we were doing the letter I, we had some extra time, and it made us think maybe we should just do a class that has all flourishes and ornaments and
some punctuation.
Yeah. So that may be something that we entertain in the end. So thank you for the ideas. If anybody else has an idea for a class that you would like to see, so far we have. Hold on, you guys got to see this. What do you got?
What are your ideas, Roland? Yeah? I think it's brilliant.
Oh, yeah?
You could be famous on the internet. What do you think about that?
Oh, someone says numbers. That is a great idea.
Yep.
All right, so we got numbers, we got flourishes, we have how to, write the letters together in a word. Spacing, those are all great ideas. If you guys are enjoying these workshops, you are welcome to send us some love. We have a Venmo account, Arley Rose, hold on a second, sweetie, ARLEYROSE is my Venmo account.
There was a pointy thing in my penis.
Oh, ooh, really?
Yeah.
Maybe we gotta go to that.
Yeah, I think I need to take my kid to the bathroom. Thank you guys all for joining us. We hope to see you again tomorrow at 2 o'clock Colorado time. We will be doing the letter A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H, I, J, K. K is tomorrow. And now I have to go find out what this pointy thing is in my kid's penis. All right, bye.